You're tuned in to Ask the Master Auto Technician. Car questions? Get answers right now. Call 850-763-0555.
James Auto Center, we fix it right, guaranteed. Beep, 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 yeah.
Welcome back to the show. This is our second half of our show on Thursday morning. Every Thursday morning we have our special guest host that calls all the way from Maryland, and he does a review on different cars. And this week he wrote me he's going to be doing one on a 2016 A3 Audi sedan. Tell me a little bit about this vehicle you test drove this week, Brian. Tell me, how did it turn out?
I'm sorry, James, you broke up a little bit.
Okay,
Can
tell
you
me.
repeat that, please?
Yes, I'm sorry. Tell me a little bit about the A3 Audi that you test drove this week. What do people need to know about how it rides, how it handles, and all these important things in case they're interested in purchasing one of these?
Well, if your audience is unfamiliar with Audi, then you really should get on down to your Audi dealership in Florida and check it out. Mm-hmm. I've always been a big fan of Audis. I kind of stumbled across Audi by accident back in the day, back in the 1980s. Mm-hmm. They had a case that CBS 60 Minutes kind of levied against the brand that said Audis suffer from unintended acceleration. Mm-hmm. They run into walls, and they have this ghostly spirit that just makes them accelerate on their own.
Kind of like the Prius.
It was disproven, but the damage to the brand was done, and the value of Audis kind of plummeted. Mm-hmm. But I always saw them as great, safe, well-performing automobiles, even though they had some marginal reliability issues back mm-hmm. then. But I bought my first Audi for peanuts and just loved it. Took my daughter around in it when she grew up. It was like considered a safety car.
Right.
My wife at the time had a Volvo station wagon. So I got I got over 200,000 miles out of that first Audi and then bought another one, got mm-hmm. over 170,000 miles out of that. I've always been a big fan of the brand. They've always had interiors, James, that I consider to be Bentley-esque.
Bentley-esque?
Bentley-esque. Now,
right.
If you consider the Volkswagen Group, there's Volkswagen, who, the group owner, but they're considered the bargain brand of the group.
Right.
There's Audi,
mm-hmm.
there's Porsche, there's Lamborghini, there's Bentley, there's Bugatti, and I'm forgetting one. But at any rate, you see that the picture is pretty clear.
Right,
it's that, the Volkswagen Group has a lot of ammo. Mm-hmm. And the Bentley brand has always been considered one of the finest brands on the earth in terms of luxury right. and interior quality. Mm-hmm. And for me to say that Audi is Bentley-esque, you really have to kind of look at the interior. Everything that looks like it's shiny mm-hmm. is real metal. Mm-hmm. It's not cheap plastic.
Ah.
The leathers meld harmoniously with this metal. You've got a flat-bottom steering wheel in the Audi A3.
I see that. I was looking at the picture of it, and the round steering wheel on the very bottom is flat. I guess that's to keep from getting in the way of your knees, I guess.
Absolutely, and that's technology borrowed from Formula One race cars. If you look at a Formula One, a race car steering wheel, not necessarily Formula One, because mm-hmm. Formula One now has it's almost like a little small rectangle with shift paddles on it.
That's true.
But this technology was borrowed from race cars that have flat bottoms for the very reason that you don't want your hands to get caught on your thighs when mm-hmm. you're making evasive maneuvers or you're just doing spirited driving. Mm-hmm. The navigation screen rises out of the dash when you start the car. Mm-hmm. If you choose to have it rise out of the dash, you can program it so it doesn't come up unless you want it to. And that navigation screen also gives you information about your satellite radio, your suspension settings, Audi navigation. Just a whole lot of good stuff is on that navigation screen. But there is also in the center of the instrument cluster there, James, mm-hmm. if you see where it says Audi Quattro A3 with the 4 rings, mm-hmm. that's considered the mid-display, which also gives you trip information.
Okay.
So there you'll get miles per gallon. You'll see redundant satellite, navigation information and information about the satellite radio. So that way you just have to do a quick glance down instead of looking over to the right to get any necessary information that you might need.
Okay.
Audi has a very sophisticated multimedia interface that, the rotary controller that BMW infamously made popular with their iDrive back in the day.
Right.
This MMI system works very well. It's easy to scroll through the different screens that you need to access the information that you might want to access. And again, that's going to be your navigation. That will be applications that you might have downloaded into the car, and anything that will show up on the screen you can access through this multimedia interface knob.
Now you
To
said
the left of the knob is the start button, start-stop button.
all right.
And just in the center of that console, you'll see a sweet S-tronic transmission. And S-tronic is a moniker for a self-shifting transmission that that Audi puts out. It's a 6-speed S-tronic.
Okay. And
The A3 is powered by a 2-liter, 220 horsepower, 4-cylinder engine. And it just gets up and goes. I mean, it's really quite an impressive motor.
I guarantee you that as a direct injection with 4 cylinders and 220 horsepower. Does it have a turbo on it?
This one is not turbocharged,
all right.
but you can get models that are turbocharged.
Whoa.
I'm pretty sure with the A sedan. My little feeble brain early in the morning tells me that the S3.
Hey, it's okay. It's early in the morning. I know it is.
Yeah, that the S3 is turbocharged. And I certainly, if one of your listeners has a question about that, I certainly would be happy to answer that question. But I'm pretty sure the S3 has a turbocharged motor.
That's pretty fantastic car.
My Audi came in at $34,000, James, and for your $34,000, this is really a tale of whether you want to go with a lot of full-bore options or whether you're just content with the $34,000 package, which is very impressive. I mean, you get a panorama sunroof, you get xenon headlights, you get the driver information system that I told you about, you get Sirius XM radio, you get 5-spoke Star Design wheels with 225/45 all-season tires. All of the safety suite is there: electronic stability control, ABS, your tire pressure monitoring system, airbags galore, including driver and front passenger knee airbags. Now, why is this important, James? Because in a crash, people have a tendency to submarine under the seatbelts, and then they kind of contact the dash. With a knee airbag, it keeps you in position so that the side airbags and the upper airbags, the frontal airbags and the upper head bags, can do their job with you, the body, and the forces, the crazy strong forces of a collision still in proper position. So kudos to Audi for making knee airbags standard on the A3.
Sounds good. How does it handle?
Myriad standard feature suits, James.
All right.
But if you want to go crazy, you can add the A3 Prestige model package, which comes in at a whopping $88.50, which includes 18-inch 10-spoke design wheels, heated power front seats with 4-way lumbar, power folding and heated exterior mirrors, Audi Advanced Key, LED interior lighting, the navigation system, Audi Connect with the online services, a terrific Diane Olufsen sound system, LED headlights, adaptive cruise control with stop and go, which means this car will kind of brake itself if you're in a cruise control situation. If the car in front of you slows down or stops, the Audi will slow down and stop.
They call it laser cruise control, I think.
And a color driver information display in front of you instead of a monochrome driver information display. That's among a lot of different things in this $8,800 package. Is it worth it? Yes, because it's got a lot of technology in there that really will add up quickly if you were to price these things out a la carte.
Okay. Now,
so the final price is $46,150, and again, you can kind of choose to see if you want to go no options or if you want to go with a lot of options on this car.
So from 46 to 88, somewhere in that general area, you can get a fully decked out or whatever you want on these Audi A3s.
No, from 34 to 46.
Oh, 34 to 46, excuse me. I was going to say, that's a big price range there. Now, how does it handle? I know you were telling, a lot of times you drive these. Compared to previous Audis, does it handle as good, better, about the same?
Well, that's the beauty of an Audi. It's just a great handling automobile. You just can't go wrong with any Audi in the lineup. The A3, the S3, the A4, the S4, and the S3 is turbocharged, by the way. It's a 292 horsepower turbocharged direct injection engine. This A3 has the Quattro all-wheel drive system, and Subaru gets a lot of credit for having this symmetrical all-wheel drive, but Quattro, Audi was one of the innovators of all-wheel drive on their vehicles. I mean, that was another factor that I found very appealing when I bought my first Audi back in 1992 rather. So, I mean, it's just a lot of content for these cars. They hold their value well. They don't tank like they used to. I mean, if you get up in the Audi A8 range, the top of the line,
right?
The Audi A8, the BMW 7 Series, and the Mercedes S-Class, all of those big luxury cars tank as soon as you drive them off the lot. But that doesn't happen at the lower end of the spectrum when you get to the A3 and the A4, pardon me, and the A5 and the S5. Audi has a terrific line of folks. You can visit AudiUSA.com for more information. And, I know you don't see probably a lot of Audis in Panama City.
No, we don't have an Audi dealer. That's why. No Audi dealership down here.
But, I mean, if the Audi dealer will deliver it to Panama City if you're interested in having one shipped over to you. If you can get them shipped from Europe, you can get them
absolutely.
to Panama City.
It sounds like a really good car.
I think that for a family, a young professional who can afford a $34,000 to $46,000 car, particularly if you want to put kids in the car, this is a great starter car. It's not the roomiest car in the world, James. I mean, Sasquatch here fits well, but with me being 6'9", it essentially becomes a 3-seat automobile. So I mean, if you're a 6-footer plus, you may want to consider an A4 or an A7, which is really, I drove that car a couple of weeks ago. It's really a fabulous, the Audi A7 with the 3-liter turbo engine. Just phenomenal automobile.
It sounds
from top to bottom, the Audi line is on spec. They don't have any diesel issues with the sedans. They did have a diesel issue with one of the SUVs. That's being sorted out. But the gasoline direct injection cars are terrific. They return decent mileage. The Audi A3 gets 27 combined, says 24 city, 33 highway. Not bad for a performance-oriented sports sedan.
Not at all.
So there you have it for the Audi A3. And again, you can visit AudiUSA.com. They have all the photographs. They've got all of the specs, all of the different packages that are delineated, are broken down. I love the way the website is very clear, very concise, very consumer-oriented. And it's kind of, just the way Audi does things.
Sounds
terrific.
Sounds great. We're up against the clock, Brian. It's been the fastest 13 minutes. I get you on here, and you really bring out some good points about these newer cars out here. I know you're going to be test driving one for next week. What one do you think you may be test driving?
I'm trying to spin the deck a little bit. I've been so heavy with the imports. I'm going to dig out a domestic car. We'll have a domestic surprise for you next week.
All right, sounds great. Looking forward to your report on a domestic vehicle. And a lot of people learned a little bit about the Audi A3 as well as I. And thank you so much for calling, and we look forward to hearing you again next weck. And if people want to get up with you, do you have a website or an email address they can contact you?
Sure. The website will be up soon. The email address is autosense, AUTOSENSE, at Comcast.net.
Okay.
And I'd be happy to answer any question about, a new car, used car purchase. Doesn't have to be brand new. I can help you with the used car purchase as well.
Thank you so much, Brian. We'll talk to you next week. All right, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.
James Auto Center, we fix it right, guaranteed. Beep, beep.